Today I'm going to be unboxing some art supplies. Do I not have enough art supplies yet? It's different, I promise. Welcome back to my art studio. If you're new here, my name is Natja. I'm an artist and an illustrator from the Netherlands. If you've been here for a while, you may know that I just love to create whimsical illustrations, often with some cute animal characters. Today's video is not about that. For a while I've been wanting to start painting. And yes, I do know I already paint with watercolors and gouache, but for some years I have been wanting to start a painting practice, including acrylics and eventually oil paint. I wasn't really doing anything to actually start that practice. My days as an artist are already pretty much filled with drawing and painting. I just never really took that first step to start working on a bigger scale. From time to time I would make small landscape studies in my sketchbook or sky or cloud paintings, but I never started making them on a large scale and I really haven't practiced them enough. Lately I've been feeling so inspired on my daily walks and I often see really nice nature. I really like to capture that and I just miss some fundamentals in that regard. I really want to start painting and practicing painting and fill the gaps in my knowledge, which I'm sure will also transfer through in my illustrations. But I also just wanted to find a hobby that I could do outside of my art practice. Most of the art I create in my art studio is somehow being monetized, and I was really looking for something I could do in my spare time and really reconnect with that spark of inspiration and just paint for the sake of painting. I've been going to a course. I've only been a couple of weeks now, but I'm going every Wednesday. It's been really nice to just create without expectation and try and learn new things. I think spring is often a really nice time to start a new hobby, be inspired. So everything suddenly just clicked for me and I think I'm going to start painting. I do feel like a beginner again. It's that awkward stage in which everything you do raises new questions, but I'm trying to embrace it and just not add too much pressure. I experimented with oil paints in the first class. In the second class I tried acrylics. Well, I must say that the oil really kind of stole my heart a little bit. It was really nice to work with, even though I have no experience at all. I worked with turpentine during that evening. It has a very strong smell. I know that in the meantime there are also oil paints that are water-based and I really want to try that in a later stage. But for now I decided I'm going with acrylics in the beginning. I think they are maybe a little bit more beginner friendly and also a little bit more practical in my art studio. I have just one window, I'm not really able to ventilate that well. Even the oil painting that I brought home from the course already has added this kind of smell to my art studio, which I like, by the way. It's a very nice smell. I think all of the smells and the fact that you have to clean the brushes with strong materials, yeah, I think that will be too much hurdles for me. I think I would end up procrastinating because there's a lot of things to take into account when working with oil, longer drying times, so I ended up going with acrylic. That's also what this video is about. So I ended up purchasing my first real acrylic paint, which I'm going to unbox with you today, as well as some other tools I purchased or I already have in my art studio that I'm going to use. So I hope you'll enjoy that, even though it's a little bit different than my usual illustration art supplies. I think there will be overlap, and especially if you're also interested in painting with acrylics, maybe you will like to see this unboxing. I ordered the acrylic paints and some other tools from Splendid, where I also purchased the art supplies that I unboxed recently. And I'm just going to show you everything, and this will help me personally as well because I can see what I have and what I want to use, because the next painting class is already tomorrow. In the meantime, I hope you get cozy and comfortable as always. I hope you'll enjoy, and let's unbox these art supplies. start, I do want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. As you may have gathered from the intro, I'm not experienced with acrylics, so the things that I purchased may not be the best options out there. I've mostly been watching painting material videos myself, and I've gathered a lot of information, and you're always welcome to correct me in the comments or share your knowledge if you'd like to. As you could see, I purchased Amsterdam acrylics. It may not be the best out there, but I think for practicing and for beginners, this is a great acrylic. I believe most of the people that were in the class with me also used this one, so I thought I can't go wrong with it. And Splendid happened to have a lot of them. Another paint brand that caught my eye was Golden. I'd be happy to try Golden also. I think that is maybe an even better paint. Since I'm just beginning and still practicing, I was really looking for a good and affordable paint brand, so I landed on Amsterdam. You just saw the colors that I got, but I will give them all a little bit more attention now. I also see now that Royal Talents is the brand behind Amsterdam, the series. I have good experience with Royal Talents art supplies, so I have good faith that it will work out. I went for a less opaque white, so zinc white, and a more opaque white, titanium white. And I believe this is better for blending and mixing, and this one will be much more opaque. I know that black isn't to be used within traditional painting. I still got a tube, so maybe I am going to do some black and white studies, and I can mix some gray tones with this one, adding some white. So that would be very nice. Payne's Gray was specifically mentioned in some videos to be a good starter color to get in acrylics, so I did just that. Yellow ochre and I believe burnt sienna as well are often used for underpaintings, and so I made sure to get them. And also I would like to create nature scenes, landscapes, so I think these are good colors to get. I obviously also know these ones from painting with gouache, and they are colors that I often use. Naples yellow is one of my favorites. I know you can easily mix this one, but I don't know. I thought it was also recommended in a video on which art supplies to get as a beginner painting with acrylic, so I got that one as well. I'm just selecting random colors now, but these are also 3 colors that I got. If you've been here a little longer, you may know that turquoise is just my very favorite color. It will much likely come in handy when painting skies, and I just think it's a very pretty color. I also got primary magenta and ultramarine. This is a little insert I'm placing in the video. After the filming of most of the footage for this video, and while editing and behind the scenes already trying out the paint, I came to the conclusion that I did need a primary yellow, because I would be able to better mix the colors and get more colors that I wanted, and finally dive into color theory and make some color wheel exercises. So I actually ended up mixing some of my own colors, which I think is very beneficial for my learning process. And I just wanted to mention that all of this knowledge will definitely also come in handy when I'm working with gouache. While I was using the paint, I did notice that it was a little bit thinner and it had a little less pigment that I would have liked. And after some additional research, I discovered that this is the student grade paint, and Amsterdam actually also has an expert grade paint series. But while I was working with the paint, I really did think about that golden paint that I also wanted to try. And I decided to just order the primary colors in that golden paint series. So we are also going to be unboxing those. And I was a little bit smarter this time and did not get a whole range of colors, but I just got the really bare essentials. And I think I will also be able to mix those ones and have some of the great capacities of that paint to use alongside the Amsterdam paint. So it really wasn't a waste. I just have been learning a lot of new things after I shot this video. So I just wanted to include this extra bit of information for you, so you are maybe informed a little bit better when you want to purchase acrylic paints. So without further ado, let's go back to the video. I also got these 2 brushes. It's also from the Royal Talents Amsterdam series. I got the extra large ones because I'll be painting on a slightly larger format that I'm used to. The last thing that I've got from Splendid is this Faber-Castell 3B pencil. Just my favorite pencil for drawing. It doesn't really have anything to do with painting supplies, but I just needed it, so I purchased that one as well. I do not have a palette for acrylics yet. I have been eyeing the Stay Wet palette, which is a little bit more expensive of a palette. You can close it and it's supposed to keep your acrylics wet. Because it's slightly more expensive, and as mentioned, I just want to try and see how well I fare with acrylics first and test the waters. I thought of something else. I have seen other artists use a glass palette, which is very nice because you can scrape the paint off afterwards. So I thought I am just going to repurpose this glass frame, and sometimes I frame my paintings without glass. Mostly when they are collages, I don't use the glass in the frame. This frame can now be used for a collage later on. And I can use this glass for a palette. And there is something inexpensive that I purchased to go along with this. It's inside this envelope that I hadn't opened yet. It's a glass scraper, and I can just scrape the paint off the palette whenever I'm done painting and just reuse the palette. I like that it's a flat surface and I will easily get the paint off afterwards. I will keep you updated because I'm very curious to see if this is something I can recommend. I purchased this online previously before purchasing the paints. I actually made that oil painting on one of these canvases. It's a value pack of 6 stretched canvases. It's for acrylics and oil, and it's triple primed, which means that it already has had 3 gesso layers. Apparently you need to prime your canvas or the surface you are painting on and make sure there's a couple of layers of gesso to make the paint stick better, just to prepare the canvas. And I'm not sure, please let me know if you know, but I'm not sure if it's necessary to add extra layers to that. So I haven't got gesso yet, and that may be a good investment to make. These are supposed to be cotton. I had no problem working on them with the oil paint, so I'm looking forward to try acrylics again. They are 30 by 40 centimeters. They are a lot larger than the formats that I'm used to for my small illustrations. Each of them is pre-packed, I think, to protect the canvas. I also went shopping at our local Action store, where they have some very inexpensive art materials. I've got to say that the quality of those materials often really isn't the best. For some simple things and tools, it can really be a great option. But I also got these canvases, and to be honest, I don't have the largest faith in them yet. I still have to try them. They are 100% cotton and triple primed, but I'm not convinced yet. I've got to try them to see how they work, but I thought it couldn't hurt to do some studies and have some extra inexpensive canvases. These ones I already had. They're still packaged, and I think I purchased them when I was still working in my very first art studio that I rented years ago. Recently I reset and tidied my art studio, and then I found them again, and I'm really not sure about the quality of these as well. To be honest, I just don't know anything yet about canvas quality. These will also be great for practice and, you know, practicing details or tiny landscapes. It just goes to show that sometimes you purchase art supplies that you will not use for years later. So do not feel guilty when purchasing new art supplies and you haven't used them yet. You may just wake up with inspiration one day and it's just meant to be, I think. I also got these brushes. These are just regular brushes, you know, regular painting brushes I got at Action as well. I think I haven't paid €2 for all of them. And I think they are really great for working very big and putting the first layer on the canvas without adding too much detail yet. Last week I also used a regular paintbrush for acrylics and it worked well, so I thought to get some. I already had some palette knives. By coincidence, this is also from Talents, and I've got several sizes, but I think this will be great for mixing, and I can take a larger one for working on the canvas, but I'm not sure that I'm already confident enough to do that right now. So for now, it will come in handy for mixing colors. For painting services, I can also use these toned papers. This Clairefontaine grey-green paper you've seen me use maybe in one of my former art videos can hold acrylics. I don't know if it's a great color to work on and paint on, but again, for smaller studies, I can use anything I get that isn't as large and expensive as an actual canvas. Also, this Tone Tan Strathmore paper is also said to be able to take wet media, so we're going to see. I'm just selecting everything that I can use right now that can work with acrylics, so everything is an experiment at this point. At that course we are working with very large wooden painting easels, which I really haven't used before. And because I want to make some small studies on paper, I thought this wooden board that I once used to make paintings for a picture book will come in very handy, because I will be able to attach some smaller paper with masking tape to the board. And the board can be on the easel, so I can work on some smaller formats on paper instead of a canvas when I want to. I've got some small pieces of the Arches watercolor paper, the 300 grams cotton paper that I often use. I saw that watercolor paper can be used with acrylic. I'll just make sure that I don't use too much paint so it won't go and warp too much. I received something else exciting in the mail this week, and I think this particular item cannot be missed when starting a paint practice from your art studio or even at home. It's my own easel stand. I received my easel stand from Kraft Geek. It's the Inspire easel stand. Full disclosure, this video isn't sponsored, but Kraft Geek did reach out to me to send me their Inspire easel stand. I don't often feature products in my videos that I haven't chosen myself. I have been seeing this easel stand from time to time. As you know, I just recently reset my art studio and I would like to add an easel stand, but I also would like to be able to easily move it aside because I often add another drawing table and I also do yoga here in my art studio. So I really was looking for a portable easel stand, an easel stand that I could even take out to plein air paint if I ever get to that point. And this one just seems perfect. I got the oak color because I think it goes well with my art studio. I would really like to unbox the easel stand because it looks really good and I'm very excited to try it out. Beforehand, I read that this easel stand wasn't really hard to assemble. I think that the large and heavy wooden ones would be very hard to assemble, and I've often looked for second-hand ones on Marketplace, but I think this one will be very handy to assemble, with icons and twist locks for legs and canvas holders. And it's supposed to be very lightweight as well. So let's open it up. I'm very curious to see this one as well because it's new to me. I've seen some videos from other artists and I've been really curious to try out this easel stand. But normally I use drawing tables because I always draw in such a tiny format. But this really is a great opportunity since now I'm starting to work on a larger format. So this came just at the right time. Oh, it's packaged really well. And this is the quick start guide, and this is the easel itself. The user manual. There are different color options available, and I picked this one. I think it goes really well with my art studio. Here is the easel. It still needs to be assembled, but look at it shine. I think it's really high quality. And it's not that heavy at all. I think I would be able to put it in my backpack and take it to the park. That would be a great video idea. Let me know in the comments if you think I should take this easel someplace and work in plein air, although I do not know if I'm any good yet, of course. Still need to practice a lot. This is very soft. I think this will protect my floor really well. I think I'm going to put the easel in the left-hand corner of my art studio. I will also be able to easily move it to my storage room, I think. So I'm just going to assemble it right now. Although I did read the quick start guide, I think it's really self-explanatory. The easel has these fold-out stands to rest the canvas on, and I like how I can adjust to the height of the canvas, and it just clicks right into place. And I can adjust. For this smaller canvas, I think this canvas is 30 by 40 centimeters, and I think I can't reach the top to adjust the length here. That would work perfectly. It even folds out like that. So I think it's great for a larger canvas that fits nicely. I just added a canvas to the easel, and mind you, my canvases are pretty small. I opted for smaller canvases to first try and learn how to paint, but it still holds that one really well. You can easily adjust to the height of your canvas. I think this is the perfect place to add the canvas in my art studio, and I'm very excited to start painting in my art studio now as well, so I can practice after my course. Before I forget, Geek gave me a link which you can use to purchase your own easel stand if you're interested in one. You can find a link in the description, and you get 15% off your purchase if you use the link. Well, I'm really looking forward to testing it with actual paint. So let's go and unbox some other art supplies. These are the additional art supplies that I purchased from a store that's called Van Beek Art Supplies. It's mostly for the golden acrylics. A primer to prime your canvas, and the canvases that I ordered are already triple primed, but I heard that it's often a good idea to add an extra layer of gesso to prep your painting so the acrylics take better on the canvas. You can also add gesso to any surface like wood to prepare it to take the paint, so you can add a couple of layers. You can also add an extra layer to store-bought canvases. I ended up ordering some inexpensive brushes, some flat and round ones to use for my studies. I think the other ones were quite large, so when working on a smaller format I also have these ones to try out. And then the superstar of the show, I think, the golden acrylic paints. After watching many videos, I just heard about these ones so often, and it's a heavy body acrylic. It's supposed to be a really good brand. I just wanted to know what it's like to work with one of the best acrylic paints out there. I definitely will keep using Amsterdam Paint as well, mostly for the study projects, I think. And I plan to use these ones for the actual painting project. So if I have a painting idea, I would like to make it with a very high quality paint. I am used to artist grade watercolor and gouache paints, so I did want to make sure that I would be using a good acrylic paint as well. They are quite expensive. You can see that they are smaller in comparison to the Amsterdam paint I got. These are 59 milliliters and the Amsterdam paint was 120, and those were less expensive than these ones. These are very well pigmented. I once again got primary colors. I can't wait to do the color wheel exercise with these ones to see what they look like. And I also again added a titanium white and Mars black. So from what I've heard, these are supposed to be enough to mix my own colors. I thought it was very important to add this part to the video as well, because they came in after I was already done shooting all of the footage for this video. I didn't want to keep these new findings from you, and I just wanted to include it. So I hope this video isn't too much all over the place and it still makes sense. But then again, I do think you like to see art supply unboxings, and it's many art supplies in this video. And I believe in the meantime, these were all of these supplies that I've got or found in my art studio. I'm very much looking forward to learn more about painting. I hope to paint some landscapes, some environments, and some lovely skies and clouds. I look forward to hear what you thought about these supplies. I will share a little bit about the painting now and then. My channel will mainly be focused on illustrations and whimsical paintings with gouache and watercolors, and I think the acrylic painting will most likely be something that I will keep as a hobby for now. I hope you like seeing that unboxing and the acrylic art supplies. I'm especially looking forward to my next video, and I hope to see you again soon. I really would like to know if you've also been thinking about starting a painting practice, or maybe you've even been painting for a while now. I really would like to know what your favorite art supplies are for painting. I look forward to hear from you, and as always, I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for being here. Bye bye! Lately,